just to allow you to really prep.
Yeah, and so now that we're all ready, now that we're all prepared, we've done our homework, we've got our refreshments, we're ready, the game's ready, we're getting into this. mousesports versus forZe, the map is Inferno, Mouse over on the CT side. And we can already see the buys coming in. FaceCrack and Almaze are going to be picking up utility here for forZe. Armor across the majority of mousesports. Carrigan, the only man still to buy. Imagine he's considering he's putting a bit of thought maybe into this purchase. No one from Mouse is moving yet,
live,
so I'm thinking this is a restart.
Yeah. Z-Power's just going to go kill them all in their spawn.
This is it. This is our first highlight from the B stream thus far.
Yeah, this is actually one of the best rounds of CS I've ever seen played, I think.
So this is why we say Carrigan is a tactical mastermind, right? This strat right here, what he's done is he's countered forZe's just waiting in spawn by waiting in spawn himself. And he knows he's on the CT side, Hugo. So when that timer hits the big fat 0, that's a free round.
I mean, forZe have been tilted so quickly by mousesports hiding in spawn that they're just team killing Harry. It's falling apart for forZe, and it's all due to the massive brain of Carrigan. Yeah, let's press some F1s. And now the buys are coming through. That's good news.
Now this is real. Carrigan's got utility. He's got the flashbangs and a kit for the squad. Armor on the rest of the gang over in the side of forZe. Obviously, we saw Jerry and Almaze picking up the utility for them. So let's see if that continues. This game now, finally, about to be underway.
Of course, it's got to be a bit nerve-wracking sitting this long if you are forZe especially. But they look calm and collected, Harry. Have no choice but to be. And here we go. Round number 1, best of 1, opening game for these two teams, mousesports versus forZe. It is so important that you pick up that opening win with some of the teams that are now down in that lower bracket. But let's see where this goes. It's going to be a quick early B play for forZe, running up top Banana. Frozen, it's going to get spotted. We'll move back towards the corner. There are 3 players on the B side right now. Carrigan setting up flashbangs for his team to re-aggress if need be. He's deep in the CT spawn. And forZe already finding an opening kill. There's the trade. The USB coming back in for Chris, but the nade does chunk him down. Smoke in the cross. Carrigan's going to flash his way back in. He does actually catch him blind, but he's not going to get any frags off of this. Meanwhile, there's still a player up on A trying to lurk, but Carrigan is slaughtering them at the back of the coffins.
Yeah, Z-Power now into the A-bomb site. Will get himself a foothold here, and Rops keeping an eye on things. Won't be able to stop him crossing into the bomb site. Bomb on the back of Jerry. And so if he's able to get out of the apartments nice and quickly, if he just barrels straight out, then yeah, he'll get this bomb down. He'll get that planted now. Doesn't hang about, doesn't give mousesports any time. All 4 players are here knocking on the door of forZe in this retake, and they're not going to waste any time. Carrigan and Woxic making quick work of those defending players. 3 kills for Carrigan there in the pistol. And mousesports, they will get that first round on the board.
Yeah, nice confident start for mousesports, especially Carrigan. He really is a bit of a beast with those pistols. Always keep your eye out for him when he has a USP in his hand. But at least forZe get the bomb plant. Now this makes you question, what are forZe going to do in terms of economy, right? They could just go for the single AK. That seems to be the more common setup that we've been seeing today, just a solo AK and some pistols. But they're just going to half buy in general, get some CZs, get some armor, bit of utility. You've got just enough to go for a B-site execute if you do so, please. mousesports fully armed as well. 3 rifles for them. forZe going quickly up second middle. And mousesports trying to establish a lot of control on Banana with their utility. Flashes and nades going down early on. In the meantime, forZe are going to get crawling through the apartments. They will be able to go for this pit drop. In the meantime, look at this setup. mousesports have rotated off of the site. It's only Rops here. Woxic's left him hung out to dry, and Rops is going to have to do it all on his own. Finds a lot of damage. No kills, though, and his time is ticking low. They will surround him. Woxic getting caught on the long corner as well, and Z-Power cutting off rotations. This is a perfect round for forZe.
Yeah, this is all falling apart for mousesports. Just these 2 MP9s left standing here, and Z-Power in with another over in mid. It's only Chris J left, wondering where this round went oh so wrong for mousesports. forZe about to get their first on the board nice and early, and Chris J not even able to dispatch of Almeza and get out of there with the AUG. forZe now bringing this to a 1-1 scoreline.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate missed rotation from mousesports. They early put a player on, or right before forZe came through the apartments, mousesports rotated a player towards B, and then as a result, Woxic had to move off of the site to watch long, and in transition, when mousesports were moving to a different setup, forZe dropped pit. Very unfortunate timing. mousesports going to force the issue with some deagles and armor. But it's forZe that are armed to the teeth, equipped with M4s and AUGs. I mean, free weapons, Harry. mousesports are going to have a lot to do in this round, and Molotov coming to cut off Chris J's retreat. It's actually a double molly as well. There's no way he could escape through that. Had to fight to his death. 5-on-4, and forZe looking to just walk right into this B site. They don't have the bomb, but at any point they can just bail and go back towards A if things don't go their way. They don't know if mousesports have a stack or not. Two players here, including Carrigan in the CT spawn, frozen into one league, and forZe will get the trade, but they might just back off here. That bomb is still down ramp, but no more kills coming their way, so may as well still commit.
Yeah, they'll just keep running the gauntlet on this one. The deagle through the smoke on Woxic, not able to find anything. Bomb now going down, and ropz is a long way from this B-bomb site, armed with just a Deeg and armor. He's likely going to try and hold on to this into the following round. So forZe a 2-1 start here. They managed to keep 4 players alive in spite of running into this force buy from mousesports. And this is them off to a good start, right? They're going to move 2-1 up. It should be 3-1 before we see that initial buy for mousesports come in. And as a result, this money on the T side could just swell out of control within these first few rounds as long as they're able to keep them clean.
So this is a nice, confident lead the forZe here wanted on this Terror half. 4 rifles surviving, and as I said, ropz holding onto his deagle. Still another USP round though for mousesports before they're even going to have rifles, and that's kind of the rough part, right? You win pistol, you lose the follow-up, especially as a CT on a map that's so money dependent, so important to have those Molotovs and all that utility to throw down and take banana control. It's going to leave mousesports, even with their first buy in round number 5, being a bit whack, Harry, and not going to have a lot of money to play with. So the AWP is not going to be a factor unless Woxic wants to go for a glass cannon. mousesports heavy mid setup, hoping forZe just run right up, but instead they've set all their utility towards B, so much of it as well. Luckily enough, mousesports can just hunt. That bomb is down mid, they've dropped it, but they can't really pick that one back up. forZe going to flash their way into middle and look to pick that bomb up and take it towards the B side. In the meantime, Repeak's coming through, a couple of kills, but this is where the round should just get locked in for forZe. ropz is got a shot away from death, and that nade puts him down to 1. I mean, Jerry's already run through B, and he's now in CT spawn. So ropz in a similar path to the last round, just looking to save or get some exits.
Yeah, we see the bomb go down over towards the B side of things. That is the round very much solidified now. ropz, can he get away with anything here? He would absolutely love to get his hands on this M4 down in the bottom of mid, but with 1 point of health to his name, and Jerry deep in the apartments, or at least about to be in the apartments, he is going to struggle to find anything here, ropz.
He's got to run as well. That bomb's going to kill him from here. Surely. Maybe not behind this thick wall, but
I think he might be okay.
Either way, even if he moves forward, there's space back on the other side, and there's the kill. Regardless, it's another round for forZe. Nothing surprising there considering how that mid fight went. But yeah, mousesports get a couple of kills. It's not the end of the world. The guns are protected though, and that will be forZe running away with the lead here. As said, mousesports coming back in with a buy, but also as said, it's not going to be the best of buys. They've only got 2,400 loss on top of the around 2k they saved. So as you can see, AWP isn't a factor. And they're going to have to make a decision between things like kits or Molotovs, not both. Not even necessarily either.
He was there, and unfortunately for us, the dream is dead. That's it. He did. He called it, and he didn't give you the game.
Oh, yeah.
Classic, really.
Yeah, little, I could tell. I could just tell, man. All the
I
players
had a
are looking at
feeling,
each
I had a
other, and I was
feeling,
like,
yeah.
this is never a good sign. Thankfully, here's how I gauge how bad a tech problem is, right? If the headphones come off, you're screwed, because that means that this is a long haul. You know, this is a big boy. We're expecting to be here a while, so get those ears nice and airborne, right?
Airborne. What are you doing? Cutting them off and throwing them off a bridge?
But then,
Airborne.
if the headphones stay on, that's a good sign. Oh no, hang on, Chris is off. Chris's headphones are off. This is a disaster right then.
Cancel the major. It's over. We're going home.
Oh no. Oh, he's putting them in. Nah, that's it. We're back. We're back on, baby. Let's go. Okay, so we've seen forZe go 3-1 up to kickstart this. Buys coming in for mousesports now, and this is where we get to see our first real look at how these two teams are going to stack up here. I'm curious if we're going to get to see the AWP on Woxic or not.
No. As already highlighted, the money is pretty whack, Harry.
I figured it was, right, because they made a few interesting decisions with the purchase. They went for that buy in the second round as well, obviously after losing the third round after losing the anti-eco. And so that always puts the money in a bit of a dire spot. Would have been a very different story had they lost the pistol, force bought that second round, and then gone for a buy in round number 3. You would have had the AWPs, you would have had rifles. That's the downside to losing that anti-eco round. You really do get hamstrung into that fourth round buy.
One of the reasons this has been a bit rough to start is the fact that they bought rifles in round 2 and so many of them. That does multiple things. One, you don't get the SMG kill bonus, okay? And these are all little things, but they add up together, right? So just follow me on this one. One, you don't get the SMG kill bonus. 2, you're spending more money on a rifle, so you're saving less for if you do lose that round. 3, you're giving a rifle to your opposing team when you do lose, which they gave 3 of. They gave 2 M4s and an AUG to forZe in round number 3, or round number 2 rather. So, you know, that's already set mousesports off on a bad foot. Then they forced with Deagle armor. Can't really blame that decision. They had 1,400, but that's every penny of their buy. Usually you'd have a little bit more because you didn't, you know, buy all these rifles or you got some kills with SMGs, but no, they had nothing to show for it. So that's why this first buy coming out in round number 5 is going to be lacking. You know, it's going to be 4 rifles with smoke, double flash, maybe a kit or 2, but nothing else. Molotovs are going to be lacking, maybe 1, no AWP at all, not even glass cannon.
Yeah.
So this is how a team like forZe really get a grasp on a game like this. They can easily go 5-1 up right now, win this rifle round, win the anti-eco, then mousesports have the best buy yet. But it's still 5-1, and your T side's already done on it, really. Anything on top is just, you know, sprinkles. Yeah.
And I mean, like, that's the thing. If you're able to get control over that CT economy so early on, like if you're playing on the T side, you're able to get the CTs in these situations where they have to, you know, take a partial buy and then they get a full buy, and then if they lose that, then they're back onto a partial. Right? If you can just keep repeating that, you can very, very quickly run away with a game. It can be so hard to get back on top of things once you've fallen behind, especially when you're a team like mousesports that can be so reliant on having this AWP in the hands of Woxic, especially considering their starting CT side, right? You want to be bringing that AWP out right away, because this is where Woxic is going to have the most success with it.
Chris is saving money. He's bought a Deagle here, keeping it grand, so they're going to have that AWP in the future. I like to see that. It's a really, really big call to make. It's not what you want, but that's already a tag. Nate can finish off the job. Chris is down to 10. He's got to be very careful, playing with fire, quite literally landing at the feet. Smoke on it, and they're just going to fall back. mousesports want to give up the top of B. They know forZe have a lot of players here, but actually, as I say that, forZe double back towards middle. They're forced to rotate over towards that B site. C-Power going to look for a pick through that blooming smoke, but finds nothing. forZe still wanting to commit towards A, and mousesports have gone for a double short side setup with Woxic watching the apartments and Rops from the pit, keeping his eyes up on short. So long is open, but at least Woxic is doubling back between the two to keep his eyes trained. Long side smoke, and forZe looking to go for this A execute.
Yes, a top mid control taken. And Yeah, you're right now, looking to execute into A on the back of it. Smoke down in pit will keep Rops smoked up. He's trying to find something over the top, but he's only 8 points of health, so they are able to get that trade. They find another, and now Woxic, the only man left inside of the bomb site, but he's dropped the bomb. 35 seconds left, and he's buying so much time for these rotations. Jerry is close, but Woxic, third kill. He's continuing to put up numbers. Z-Power left up in the 1v3, down in the pit, 2 players low on the other side of things, but he's got to first get past Woxic, and he can't manage that. He doesn't need the AWP, he'll grab it anyway, but 4 kills on Woxic on sub 10 HP, a massive round there from him. And mousesports getting their second on the board nice and early here in their first buy round.
It's unbelievable. Look at the spray conversion to that second player as well. Just keeps it going. Even gets the reposition into the site before Jerry is there. Doesn't get much better than that, Harry.
He gets 2, my goodness.
That was a rough round for mousesports. They only had 2 players on A as well, and one of them was already on a deagle. Woxic now taking the AWP to middle, watching for the walkout, but Z-Power, he's watched the demos, Harry. He knows what's going on. Woxic going to get caught early on, and that's not the start the mousesports needed. Still guns to play with, but forwards are the man advantage. Bail out of B and push fast up towards middle.
And so once again, this has forced that rotation out from B very, very early. A third player now here to supplement this A bomb site, and they'll leave Chris J aggressively down at the bottom of Banana. Carrigan, very wide peek into long, and he'll reap the rewards of it. Rob sets him up with a flash from the gods. And this round might have just been stripped away from forZe. It was looking so good with Z-Power picking up that kill early. They finally flush out Carrigan, but they're not able to deal with the man back in bank. That bomb is still under control of mousesports here.
Yeah, that double face from the library as well. forZe's able to get so much damage off, but Jerry's taken the AWP from Woxic's body. Though HP might not be as much of a factor, but he's being flanked. Chris has missed it. Chris hasn't looked in the hallway, and Z-Power's been given more room to move. Issue is he can't get a kill from this position. No one's exposed. He's going to have to drop, and Chris drops Jerry in the meantime. Z-Power last alive. They don't know, but he just threw out a Molotov. That will give away his position, and he's got to drop into Rops. Doesn't go for the backstab instead. Takes the safe route. 25 seconds for him to get this bomb, but forZe's still up in the library, and the second he tries to cross, he's going to be met with him head on, back turned instead, and forZe gets the frag. It's mousesports getting a 3-3. This is so back and forth. The multi-kills, Harry.
mousesports actually had a chance as well there to pick up double AWPs, but they decide against it here. I think that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You definitely can look to bring it out within this team. It's always very, very tempting, I think, when you've got Woxic, Chris J, and Carrigan, all players who can don that AWP proficiently to bring out a double AWP setup, but they do just decide to keep rifles out across the board. Chris J is still on a deagle.
Who needs guns?
He's only had that this game. Woxic going to open up down mid, so we finally see that AWP yielding some results here for mousesports. And that's kind of back to the drawing board here for forZe. It looked like they wanted to try and take that top mid control, and now slowing things down a bit. They have players over in Boiler. I'll flash on over, so they will look for the foothold here with the smokes falling over at Moto and CT. I was going to say they could try and wrap to B, but this is looking like just a fake and now into the B hit.
Yeah, but forZe spotted it. He's been jumping on that wall, and he heals it, still has a Molotov and a smoke to shut these guys down. Throws them both out. These teams are still coming regardless. Bomb drop from the top, and forZe looking for more. Mid-air, they're just running into the firing line. Chris with a deagle, and this is a done deal. mousesports not losing a single player. This may have been a very rough start, and Harry, we prophesized that, 5-1 lead for forZe, which was still very much attainable, but that 4K round from Woxic has just turned mousesports up. They are looking ready to go. And go they shall. 4 rounds on this CT side. forZe do have a bye coming up.
And I like the placement of that smoke, that underhand smoke that forZe drops. It's just down beneath the boost, so that as you're getting up on top of those barrels, you're actually still blind by the smoke.
Yeah.
So it makes it very, very hard for the Deegs to get anything done in that situation. Now, Woxic found, and Chris J kind of tunnel visioning on the AWP a little bit there, wanted to get it away from forZe. Has now left this entire round up to question. forZe getting tested. Now, he was able to stand the test of time in the round prior, Does have Carrigan nearby, who sprinkled some damage across the forZe players over at Banana, but they've fallen back. This isn't a B play. forZe's done a good job of repelling this, and now it looks like they want to try and hit this A bomb site. But Mouse, they've got the read, and Carrigan is already here. He's got Rops with him. There's 2 players inside of the A bomb site, and forZe, they don't even know about this second man yet.
Yeah, and they're about to find out the hard way. Rops is waiting on default. Flit's already tagged up, and Rops is waiting for contact. Carrigan makes it first. He'll just double down. Rops is needed. The trade is there, but Rops keeps the round alive and even saves the AWP. I'm loving the pace that we're having in this game already. Very fast rounds. forZe really decisive with their rotations, even if they aren't necessarily all working out. And mousesports, you know, great example of when and how to disengage. Carrigan gets that kill on long, he instantly just smokes off the corner and just goes, okay, if you want to go CT, you can. Like, it's not my problem. I'm just going to smoke you off. I don't want the trade. I'm going to play with my teammate on the bomb site, and that's what he does with Rops. Him and Rops shutting down the last 3 players up on short. And another round coming through for mousesports. Pause for forZe. But what can they decipher from this quick break?
They've got to try and figure something out as well, right? That's the thing, like, forZe, they haven't had much to look at in these rifle-on-rifle rounds that they can say has been working for them over and over again. They've been able to take this control over towards top mid, really, until we saw woxic bringing the AWP out, right? So this time, fast Banana play, and they're trying to exploit these kills that they've been able to get on players such as chrisJ at this portion of the map. This time it's frozen to go down, and the rotation coming in from Carrigan. We'll see a double man hold still inside of this B bomb site if the push were to come through. But once again, forZe just backing away after finding that first pick. They're not going to run the gauntlet. And I like this, the re-aggression from chrisJ and Carrigan. Will they clear out Z Power? Nice flick. He tries to double up. Carrigan gets the trade back. And now they're changing their minds once again. It's looking like it will be B after all. Carrigan, it's all on you, my friend.
This is such a good call from forZe as well. They just run through the smoke. They don't give a damn. Pistols out, but it's not going to work. Carrigan drops 2. Flash as well to follow up. Flits around the corner, and Carrigan's out of ammo. That will be his death, but still, a 2-on-2. mousesports have been set up to close out this round, and woxic grabbing another kill. This bomb plant going to be important. Flip plugs in the numbers, but he's got a 1-on-2 to close out. Does have that retrieved AK from earlier in the round, but woxic's ready for the repeak, and mousesports 6 to their name. I love the rotate back from forZe. They realized that they had, you know, maybe 5 to 10 seconds where there would be a solo B set up, and they took it, you know. It kind of sucks they ran through a smoke to their death, but the alternative is wait behind the smoke, and likely there's a rotation in time from mousesports. So forZe don't allow it. They get a bomb plant, they make it interesting. It was only pistols after all, but it's still a mousesports round. Bai coming back for forZe, and the AWP is here for Z Power as well. Top performer of his team, second in the server to Carrigan.
And that's been something that's been so interesting to see since Carrigan joined this squad. He's had a real upturn in his kind of results individually in these games, right? He's been someone that we so often have been looking towards to occupy the kind of upper end of the scoreboard, right? And these top fragging Carrigan games haven't felt like a rarity.
No.
These Molotovs and nades finding good damage, but the kills all going in favor of forZe. It's Almazer and Jerry. They've opened up B, and this time forZe do not waste any time waiting around. They are straight into this bomb site.
Yeah, mousesports may reconsider fighting for this top B control round after round, because it's never favored them. It's only putting them in disadvantages. Carrigan flashing through. Will he commit with it though with his team? He will. Going through the smoke, dropping the bomb. How on earth does he get 2 kills? I don't know. But FaceCrack will be there for the responsive kill. woxic's still up on the coffins, and that smoke's about to fade. He might not even wait for it. He's inside the smoke, waiting for that bomb plant to go down so he can grab a free frag. The flash is in, and woxic goes through. Z-Power's not watching. woxic drops the bomb from above, and now it is just Z-Power 1v2. 5 HP, and that molly blooms as he runs for the bomb. There was no chance in hell. What a round for woxic, and mousesports keeping up the confusion here. 7-3. With money just there for forZe, but not the rounds.
This has just been great to watch. This has just been like a bit of a masterclass in retaking Inferno, brought to you by mousesports, right?
Yeah.
Like, they've been losing B, and even when that's been happening, even though they've lost those gunfights over towards Top Banana in almost every single one of these rounds, they've still gone undefeated since bringing rifles out of their own. So that in and of itself is so impressive, right? Usually, if you're giving away such an important area on the map, like Top Banana, you're losing your CT side, right? Or struggling or saving a hell of a lot. If you think back to the mousesports of old, they used to be nicknamed Save Sports, right? Like Odd Inferno, because they did struggle in those retakes and rotating effectively. And it seems like right now with this squad, we're seeing great rotations out of everyone, right? Even when you deal with the 2 players at Top Banana, there's always 2 or 3 more waiting inside of the bomb site for your arrival. So this time, peek down mid goes the way of Z-Power, Woxic getting bested. Quite the scalp to find, because he's been so instrumental in a lot of these retakes. And now that you've gotten rid of him, we kind of have to look towards these 2 players that have been over towards B to step up in this round and not fall at that first hurdle. They'll rotate Chris J away. They leave forZe at Top Banana alone. Actually over towards CT rather. Rops up in the apartments, and he might catch the timing here. Playing on the other side of that smoke.
The thing that mousesports have to remember is, especially when you're playing up against forZe, smokes aren't walls, so keep your eyes on them, because forZe are going to have no fear to run through. Rob's waiting. Carrigan's found a kill on Jerry as forZe decide to back off towards that B site. Almaza at the top already. Frozen. He's a solo defender here. Just looking to hold on 50 seconds for forZe to get this bomb down.
The second that smoke fades up in the apartments, Rops is clearing all these angles, and so Carrigan's already rotated round. They've already got 2 players here, but they both get bested almost immediately. Not able to come together there to hold back this push from forZe. And it's Rops alone, 1v3. He'll take a peek down Banana. Maybe he finds Z-Power, and if he does, we might see him attempt this. Gets rid of the first man. That's the AWP dropped at the very least, but Rops is just going to play it safe. He'll back away. Oh, is he still going for this?
He knows he can get more exits.
Yeah,
he can't win this round. Yeah, he knows he can get more exits. It's more likely forZe are going to choose to save in CT spawn because they just saw Rops and Banana, and they don't want to push down Banana a choke point against an AWP. Or maybe they do. Grabbing the AWP, maybe? Yeah, they'll get it. And they'll get down Banana for free as well. Very, very ballsy approach, but hey. This round is still forZe's regardless. So 4 for forZe. At least the AWP is dragged forward. That has been a big, impactful weapon here for this T side. As you said, picking up Woxic at the start of the round. And the AWP for Rob saved on, so he can throw that back over to the Turkish AWP player. But let's see what more forZe have for us. Nice mid-round rotation back to B as they have been really, really good so far for this T side, even though not always successful. They've been making the right call. Just because it's right doesn't mean it always works out. Oh. Barraging the Banana with utility. Chris is actually going to push ahead of this as well. The flashbang's there, but they just sprayed the smoke. Don't need eyes, don't need vision. Chris is gone. forZe are going to be calling for a rotate as well. Woxic will be the first line of defense coming back towards this B bomb site. But forZe, I mean, this is a great start for them. 5 on 4, they've burned a lot of utility towards B. There's only 1 flashbang left on this site. They can just go for a straight up execute, and it seems like they will.
They're able to beat Woxic on the timing. Frozen over at Nubox, getting burnt out by that Molotov. He finally gets shut down, but it might not matter. Woxic in with the double, helped out by Frozen. And now just Z-Power left standing in what was a 1v3, turned into the 1v2. He's got a bit of time to play around with here. Carrigan over in ruins and Rops pushing up through Banana. He's going to try and deal with the man on the flank, but already spotted Rops getting some damage off. Carrigan back in CT spawn now. Z-Power desperately looking for it, and he has the read, he's got the information, but Carrigan landing the shot. An 8-4 scoreline. mousesports able to hold on to that one, narrowly so.
God, those two individual fights as Z-Power took, he could have won both of them with like just a second difference in the peak, right? If he actually committed to peeking Banana there instead of jiggling, he would have been scoped up before Rops got round the corner to get that dink. So very, very tight timing, but luckily enough, mousesports going to get ahead of it, rather.
I do feel like at some point now, because coming into this, we were really praising mousesports and how they're always able to keep, especially Woxic being very like very mobile within this map, and you'll note he'll be like the man first up on rotations a lot of the time. It's either him or Carrigan. They're the two players that have been making those immediate rotations. I do feel like if you want to have Chris J continuing with this aggression down Banana, or like continuing with these rather overzealous peaks, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to throw Woxic over towards that side of the map and try and contend for that top Banana control a bit more. Instead, they've done the other thing that we were speaking about, and that's pulling Carrigan around to this side of the map. They will have this three-man Banana hold, and it looks to be that they want to set someone up over at Banana. They throw a lot of utility down there and then immediately pull Carrigan back. They're hoping that forZe hear and see all of that utility blanketing the Banana and now hit the A bomb site. And this is still where mousesports have three players, thanks to that instant rotation from Carrigan.
forZe getting flashed out of the apartments here. Carrigan only just got here in the right time. He'll get one. Rops doubling in it, but face crack, similar story with that Mac 10. Bomb plant coming down, and Almazer might go for this fight. They double face. Rops, can he spray them down? He gets first. Pistol out and tapping down the last. How on earth does he get away with that many kills? I do not know. But 4 frags in the round and 9 to mousesports here on the half so far. That could have gotten very messy as well, right? You're just talking about Carrigan being on B. He was rotating back as forZe are coming out of the apartments. He just gets to default. Only gets 1 kill, but, you know, considering if he wasn't there, forZe could have overrun that bomb site. Could have gotten a whole lot worse. So really coming down to the 1 or 2 second differences here for both teams in a lot of these engagements, but that is all Counter-Strike really is.
Well, yeah, because that's the odd thing. It's a 9-4 scoreline, but it doesn't feel like mousesports have just been blowing forZe out of the water. That said, it's always like the retakes look so damn clean, but it's these first couple of fights that always seem to go the way of forZe, and now we're seeing these returns getting built back into by the rest of Mouse, so it's back into a 4-on-4 now, in spite of that initial advantage going the way of forZe. And let's kind of see if history repeats itself here, as they're finally able to get themselves back in the driver's seat.
And this is a great change from mousesports as well. They throw a lot of utility down Banana, and then they just give it up. They just go back towards a B site, because they already have a 4-on-4, now a 4-on-3, and forZe are going to have to commit if they want to get these kills. That they will, with the AWP going through, but a missed shot gives away the push. Frozen gets a smoke out in time, but he doesn't get much further than that. The boost up for Chris with a double, and it's just the AWP left up. Not in the hands of Z-Power, though. It's Almazer, 1-on-2. Woxic might go through, and he does, getting the kill as the plant comes through, and mousesports double digits in the half. We're not even over, Harry.
You could see that Almazer knew that being up against Woxic, he's coming through that smoke.
Every
like, you
time,
could just tell. He starts putting the numbers in, and he's like,
oh no.
Okay, so I'm gonna get pushed with this smoke, but if I'm really fast, maybe I beat him to it. And he almost does, but not quite. He had the read, he knew what was going on, he knew who he was up against. Woxic having a phenomenal round of Counter-Strike there.
And just the confidence to do that, right? His teammate wasn't even there in time to flash. Like, if his teammate said to flash and you do it, that's always justified. If Woxic dies there, if that was a fake plant, that's a massive mistake. But it works, so more power to him. mousesports 10-4 up. The buys are good for forZe as they have been throughout the game, but the rounds not necessarily. Luckily enough, another advantage taken. They've been so good, as you said, at getting that first kill. And usually going untraded as well. Just the question is, how many more can they get? mousesports again with a double B setup. forZe taking their time on this one. A extremely important round to get the last of the half locked in. But easier said than done. Woxic, he's there for the refrag. Face crack going to go down. And mousesports straight up back into a 4-on-4. We might just see forZe execute B.
Yeah, they've kind of been hamstrung into it at this point in time, and now as they show their heads, as they rear themselves out from the Banana, it's into the prying eyes of Chris J. And with that smoke falling, the Molotov behind it, Flash is now raining in. That's repelled this B attempt from forZe. It's back to mid, back to the drawing board here. Only one man inside of the A bomb site. That is Carrigan right now. Woxic is nearby and available for a rotation in towards Arch side. You can see him posting himself up at this side of the map. That does not change the fact that Carrigan, the only man here, the only man inside of the bomb site, so it all falls onto his shoulders once again. He's taken the first down and he's hungry for a little bit more. Smoke out in the apartments. That allows Z-Power to get out to short, but Carrigan repositioning, and it's good night to forZe. Carrigan sends them packing, get out of his A-bomb site. 3 kills for him at the end of the first half, and it smiles across the board from mousesports. It does feel like the way that the impression I'm getting is they're being very overzealous, very aggressive with these early peaks, and then they just fall back into their standard style if they lose them, because they did not lose a single man in a lot of those rounds after losing the first. They would just, you know, go straight back to their very rigid default, play around one another. That's all from the first half though, Hugo. We've still got a whole half of Counter-Strike still to come. forZe trying to pull this back. mousesports trying to close it out. Find out who takes it after a quick break.
$11 for the score. mousesports locking in that first half in dominant style here on Inferno. Now, they were on the CT side, but even so, moving forward, forZe are going to have their work cut out for them here on Inferno. Having drinks home delivered as well.
Yeah, they're getting the royal treatment right now. Here's the thing, man. I just think, like, we saw CT side, they would always throw away a man in the beginning, just taking some crazy overzealous peak on the side of mousesports, whether that was Chris J barreling down Banana or Woxic just straight up challenging down mid in a duel that he was losing a lot of the time, really, right? It wasn't until kind of later in the game that we saw him peeking into that a little bit differently, and instead trying to play like more of a bait and switch with the other guy he was in mid with, occasionally having, you know, like Carrigan or Ops try and bait those shots out from Z-Power and then going for the trade. Now moving into their T side though, where Mouse can be the ones to dictate when and where these fights take place, I imagine we're going to see a very hyper-aggressive mousesports, and that is already looking good in this pistol round. Straight up through mid, they've got themselves one. It's only Face Crack left to get past at this A-bomb site, and Carrigan's in the air, and he still finds him.
That's not fair. You're not allowed to do that. That's just broken. forZe even catching rotations, and I mean, Harry, we talk about Carrigan being good on pistol rounds. I mean, at this point, it's not even just skill, it's also luck. Ridiculous stuff. forZe catching more players moving in through the archway, eventually finished off, but Almazer is not winning this round. He is on damage control. And I mean, forZe cannot control the damage that is being inflicted upon them right now. 12 rounds to mousesports at the end of this one, and the pistol round going their way. This is going to be a long road to recovery for forZe. Do you remember that mousesports picked up that first pistol? forZe won the subsequent force buy. But even so, winning the pistol here on the T side, forZe, the question is, do they even go for the force here? Would they rather get a sooner rifle round? Because they don't have many options left, Harry. They don't have many rounds left. If you want to go for the force here, you have to eco the follow-up and then buy. Well, you're already down 12-4. You just don't have that breathing room. And they're going to go for it anyway. If they win it, it's worth its weight in gold. But if they lose it, it's going to be 14-4 before we see guns.
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward for forZe. They try and catch players crossing down in mid. It's Z-Power peeking down, but he doesn't spot anyone apart from that bomb crossing onto Banana late. That is still some information gained though for forZe. Carrigan getting tagged up there by the scout over in mid.
Ooh, nice shot.
And actually, that wasn't Carrigan getting tagged by the scout, sorry, that was a nade raining onto him for 70 damage here at the B bomb site. Man advantage gained for forZe, some damage done onto the side, well, either side actually at this point in time, but it is mousesports once again who look worst off. It seems like they're having a real problem getting past these force buys from forZe.
These force buys.
Force buys.
Re-smokes as well coming down. I mean, forZe have done a good job of investing in this round in the right tools that they need. A real variety of weaponry and another mid-fight going their way. Rops does get a trade, though, up in the apartments. That'll put it back into a 3-on-3. Bomb site conceded, and retake is rolling here for forZe. You just need that plant for woxic. It's a backside plant, trying to play it safe considering he's tagged up. forZe have one player coming in from the long side of things, 2 on middle. Now, this AK has to do the damage here for Rops. He is one of the 2 players with health. woxic's just hiding for the potential clutch of his teammates' fall, but that Molotov might just section forZe off. And a second one, that should surely solidify this round. They are not getting back up through short. Jerry taking a look through the apartments. They do have a kill on Z-Power, but you're really asking for a lot here. I think forZe are just on exits right now. And woxic may as well run.
Yeah, there's still a very real possibility that you're able to kill the majority of these players inside of the bomb site, right? They find woxic trying to exit. Frozen and Rops, well, they will stay alive. It's still a nice little save from forZe. It gives them something to fight back with in this round, right? They've got some pistols that they can drop over to the 2 players that died. They've got armor and SMGs on the 2 players that saved, and then the scout carried forward by Z-Power still from that round prior. So, all in all, you get a pretty decent attempt at a round here if you're forZe. You were able to get it pretty close in the round prior, so this is a real chance for them to try and find something once again.
I mean, still ooh, nice try. I mean, there's a tag. forZe gets hit by the scout down middle, but immediate kill coming through. It's going to be favouring mousesports here as they again pile drive their way towards middle. Facecracker's in the apartments watching the short walk, but he's got to also care about the hallway behind him. Fully white. mousesports already up past him. He spams away with a deagle, does get one, but here's where we should see Rops activate later and try and get this trade. Jerry's been picked up on rotate. Flip with an SMG coming around fast around the corner, getting himself another kill. It's a 2-on-2 right now. mousesports boxed inside of the site, and it's just woxic left up. He finds the first, but the second player's already rounded the corner, and Almazer's going to win it out. forZe may not have won the second round force buy, but the third round eco, Harry, that will very much be in their pocket. And you're right, that save is very valuable.
And, you know, the AK picked up on Almozy. You can drop an AWP over to Z-Power. You've got plenty of money, because let's not forget, they were buying this round coming anyway. So, you know, you had everyone with around about $2,000 minimum in those bank accounts when that extra cash flow came in. And suddenly you're looking at a very flushed for cash CT side. This is how forZe can try and build back into this game. They've got to get control of the money. They've got to try and set the pace a bit more here. But it's the first step in the right direction, right? You know, now you're not staring down the barrel of 14 rounds to your opponent before you get that first buy on the board. And this is still recoverable. Likewise for mousesports, because of those 2 rounds, well, obviously the one before that coming down to just 2 players surviving, and then that one there, everybody dying, they've got no money left. So this is where forZe are looking to build up these bank accounts. This is where you're looking to make all that money. AWP is dropped over into the hands of XE-Power.
I just wonder where these nades are going, Harry. Is it a top B spam or is it a mid spam? Maybe a combination. Oh. Oh. Just patience, Z-Power waiting for a peek. They're going to give it to him, but there's going to be 4 players coming around this corner.
I'm wondering now what the plan is with these nades more than ever, because it looks like they're trying to make players to take this aggressive stance on Banana and then follow it up with the nades, and it's really not worked here for mousesports. It was the best laid of plans, but it's all gone so wrong. The crossfire setup between Jerry and Z-Power proves to just be far too much to bear.
woxic's just picking up all these grenades. There's the third going through, but walking past the smoke, he does go down eventually. forZe lose one player. almazir takes a couple of big old HEs to the chest, but he gets out just fine. The 13-5, forZe have put the building blocks to start this comeback, but it's still going to be a long road to recovery. 13-6 rather. No AWP here for mousesports, but it is one of their first buys on this T side, and Z-Power has his. If they win around, they can grab it off his body. Triple B set up early on again. We're going to see this pretty much, I imagine, almost every round for forZe at the start. Send a rotate right back, throw some utility, take some banana control. Karrigan sits inside of that smoke there. He's going to avoid the nades, not the spam, so got to be careful with that. And forZe actually give up the top of B. They'll just fall back passive, not wanting their mistakes to be the same that mousesports had in that first half, where they got constantly bullied at that top car position. mousesports still waiting to execute on A though, and Karrigan has no utility to fake this B site either, so he might just come in later as a lurk to catch rotations.
Now with that smoke down, blocking off the player over at Library, the CT wrap is very much a potential for mousesports. They might try and flash split through. That smoke fades, but
dear.
forZe and Co looking away, primed for that flashbang. Found by Z-Power down in the pit. He's offered another chance and he's almost going to get that. Not quite. They do get by towards the hayfields, but Z-Power continuing to go back in for these. He finally gets laid to rest, and it's FaceCraft now. Back at the bomb site. Cornered off and finished. Jerry and almazir are left standing, and they just bow out of this round. They give it up. 14 for mousesports, only 6 for forZe. I'm getting some flashbacks to the first half, and that is as soon as we see these rifles come out on both sides of the equation, it's mousesports very much setting the kind of pace and tone in these rounds. Also, if you're forZe, you never even spotted Karrigan on that very, very late B lurk, so that's still kind of an unknown thing that they threw into that round there. That forZe now won't be able to kind of adjust to nor exploit in these coming rounds. I'm curious if we're going to see Karrigan go back to playing in a bit more of a kind of lurk role.
It's a great way for game leaders to get information, right? Because they're going to have their teammates commenting what they hear on one side of the map, and at the same time, they're on the other side of the map. So they're getting a completely different set of information. They're hearing different noises, different players. Helps you paint a full picture. Orp even picked up by woxic as well. He finds that in the pit at the end. So Z-Power's missed shots do come back to haunt him, and I imagine they will even into this round as well. woxic working that AWP. Z-Power has his own though. Here's another buy for forZe. It could be their last here, Harry. 14-6. Pressure's on. woxic watching that mid-cross. It's not going to come through. Great utility. The Molotov burns Jerry to a crisp. 100 damage from it. almazir put down to 12 as well. Not catching a break at the top of B. Rops even killing FaceCrack, peeking that window. And forZe, one by one, are getting torn apart.
I think it was it Karrigan's molly just did 188 damage to top banana. Killing one player and bringing one of them down to just 12 points of health. And I think it was because it was an interesting lineup that spread onto the top of the half wall. So I don't think Jerry even had any idea he was burning alive. Hiding in this smoke is Flit. He's desperate for something, some edge to give forZe in this round, but he just won't get afforded anything. And now with Rops getting down into the pit, Flit really does have to do all the work here over at short, and they've already gotten by, and the bomb site's crumbled. 3v4 in the retake, and I'm thinking at this point forZe might just fall back into a save, try and play for the overtime here.
Oh, nothing worse than having to do this up against 14 rounds, but really what other options do you have? almazir is not going for this one. He's already 12 points of health on the wrong side of the map, and you know, I've got to give credit to mousesports here. This is not just like forZe making silly mistakes or anything. mousesports are playing some fantastic Counter-Strike right now. 15 locked in. One more is all they need, and they will be going to that 1-0 slot here in Berlin. forZe bare minimum be allowed to save these weapons, mousesports will give them that satisfactionate lead. But that's really the only positive to take away right now. 6 rounds for forZe. They are going to need 9 in a row to stop this victory for mousesports to bring us to overtime, and even then it will be under question. We've had a comeback from 15-6 today, but I don't know, I'm not holding out for this one, Harry. Oh.
Yeah, Chris J catching that nade over at Bernardo. There might be a follow-up from Almeza as well, so Carragher's actually going to dodge that somehow. Gets away damage-free. FaceCrack deciding to, I was going to say bow out of the apartments, but no, he's kind of toying with the idea of going for this aggression now. He might come to regret that as Rops does lie in wait. Oh, goes over the top. Carrigan peeking with it. Will get traded by Jerry. FaceCrack's going to deal with Rops over in the apartments, but this B play's come in the meantime, and it's torn the site in half. Everyone's deleted at this side of the map, and now the rotation's having to come through from forZe. That bomb has not even left T-ramp yet, so it's going to be a little while till it gets into the bomb site. And this has given time to forZe, but Woxic's fully flashed, and he's somehow still found that kill. He's looking for even more. Flash goes in.
No.
He's blind again, and I was going to say he cannot follow up for the second time. They finally shut him down. It's FaceCrack alone to try and keep the dream burning for forZe, to try and keep the dream alive. 1v2 required. Bomb down, out in the open, it's ticking away. He does have a kit to work with, but no utility to force these fights. But Chris J, his big feet have betrayed him. He spots it under the door, and now the 1v1. forZe over in CT, a smoke down for the cross, and FaceCrack, no time here tapping on that bomb, trying to bait the peek out from forZe, and he's just not budging. Now making his presence known, and mousesports take the win. 16-6, dominant as ever here, as they manage to close out Inferno in a pretty quick, pretty clean fashion. forZe, I don't feel like